and welcome back to Zach's Culture Corner. Now, let me tell you about some of the things that are coming out this week in the gaming industry. One of the things that I was most surprised about that's coming out this week is they're bringing out a new Nintendo Switch. Oh my god. Now, what you may be asking is, what is new about this Nintendo Switch? Does it have better visuals? No. Does it have better controls? No. Do the Joy-Cons actually attach to it properly this time and not slip off when you use it in handheld mode for too long? No. So what have they improved? Well, let me tell you folks, they have improved the battery. Yes, that is right. The Switch's usual 5-hour battery life, that is essentially what it has when it is in handheld mode and not in docked mode, has now been improved. It doesn't actually say how much it's been improved by. It could be 5 hours and 1 minute for all we know, but it says that it has been improved, which means that it should run in handheld mode for a lot longer. Now, I don't know if this warrants an extra, £50 on top of the usual price for a Switch nowadays. Obviously, as far as I'm concerned, is a 5-hour battery life is decent, and you can get handheld battery packs that can charge it. You can also get in-charger cases that allow you to charge your Switch. So realistically, you can have up to a 7 or 8 battery life on it if you really want to. And plus, it probably wouldn't cost you an extra £50 on top. But you know what? If people haven't bought a Switch yet, this is probably the one you would need to go for. Improved battery life, no other things better with it. Definitely something that you should get if you haven't got one yet. And if you have a Switch, it's not worth selling yours and getting this one. Just buy the appropriate add-ons to make the battery life essentially the same, which will probably not cost you the extra money. That's my little tip for you there. But you know what? It is up to you in the end. If you do want to sell your Switch and get this newer one, just don't say I didn't tell you so. Now, something that I've been playing this week, and something that I've been playing a lot this week, is The Isle. Now, if you haven't heard about The Isle, I'm not going to blame you. It is an indie game. It's not very big. It is a good game, though. Like, that, we'll get that out there first. It's a very good game. The Isle is a dinosaur survival game. You play as a dinosaur. You have to manage your hunger, thirst, and your health, while also not breaking bones and not bleeding to death while fighting other dinosaurs, to try and make it to adulthood and survive, and then make a nest and have other people join your group as babies and then do the same thing. It's very good game in that sense. With a load of different dinosaurs to pick from and different modes between survival and creative, the game is actually a really fun, twist on survival games. You're not playing as a human, you're playing as the dinosaur. It's Ark, but you're playing as the dinosaur, essentially. It's really fun, though. I really do enjoy it. And there are a lot of different dinosaurs to play as. Recently, though, we've been playing as GIGAS and trying to get up to adulthood. I am still the only Giga that hasn't hit adulthood yet. I am a sub-adult, and growing in this game, you have 3 phases in most of the apex dinosaurs, 2 phases in some of the lower ones. So, raptors have 3 phases, but dillos, which are slower night raptors, only have 2 phases. Gigas have 3 phases, though. Juvenile, sub-adult, and adult. And then also when you're an adult, you can grow up to fully grown adult or new adults. There's different ways you can go about it. There's different, stats. Your growth percentage gauges how big you are and how much you've grown. And then your stats show how much damage you're doing stuff. So your Newton bite force shows your damage. The amount heavier you are than someone else is the multiplier for the amount of damage you get. So you can work these things out. But, you got to really think. You got to really, take the time to think about it and read about it and stuff. So we've been playing as Gigas. I'm the only one who hasn't reached adulthood yet. I'm a sub-adult. And do you want to know how many Gigas it took me to get to sub-adult? 14 Gigas. I played 14 Gigas before one of them actually grew up. I played as Juvies, and I always get to 85, 90% growth, and then get eaten by something else. But it isn't annoying. It isn't a repetitive strain. It isn't an annoying series of events. The game flows really well. The combat system is a bit janky at the moment, but there is a recode coming in February, which should fix that. They'll add dinosaur collisions, they'll add proper skyboxes, proper hitboxes, rework some of the dinosaurs. I know the Utah Raptor is the one they're reworking first. So yeah, it's a lot of new stuff's being added to the game to make it more of an enjoyable experience growing up. And combat will be more fun, because combat is one of the things that's kind of an issue. But as I said, it's not a repetitive strain. I've played 14 Gigas, and I don't want to not play the game. If I were to die now as a sub, I'd be fine. I'd go back into Juvie, and I'd grow up again. It's not an annoying series of events. It's annoying when you die, but then for 5 seconds, you're fine again. It's not that kind of thing where you're just constantly, this is a grind, I hate this. It's not. It's a lot better than that. My 14 Gigas, I just sweat off my back. It's honestly not that much. And now that I'm a sub, it should be a little bit easier to survive. I do have my friends who are 3 adult Gigas who will be looking after me until I become an adult. Like, obviously it'll be a little easier to survive as a sub because I'm bigger, I do more damage, I can hunt things easier. Can't hunt adults yet, and that's the big problem, because when there's apex predators like T-Rexes, Gigas, and Spinos roaming around the island, it's kind of like, it's kind of difficult. You have to hide a lot, and you have to scavenge and scrounge, but it is an enjoyable experience. Like, the different ways that you can play as your dinosaur, and the different dinosaurs you can play, means that it isn't repetitive and annoying. It's very fun to play as. And then once you hit adult, you are an apex predator. You can go around, you can fight things, you can hunt things. Get too cocky and you die, but play it well and you'll survive. It's that kind of game. And with this recode, it's going to make the game so much more enjoyable. Like, the devs are working really hard to make this game as fun as it could be. And they've also spoken about things that are adding in the future after the recode. So they're going to add humans, mercenaries, because this game is set in the future. Humans are still a thing. Dinosaurs, I guess, like a Jurassic Park kind of story, where dinosaurs have already, like, are being brought back to life and are roaming on this island. So they've got mercenaries coming in with, like, weaponry and stuff, with, like, certain buffs and debuffs. And then they've also got cannibals, like mutant ogre things that are about 9 foot tall, living on the island as, you know, tribal people who have also been mutated and brought back and stuff like that. And they've, as I said, they're going to try and make it like a different experience for each thing you play. So obviously when you play as a dinosaur, herbivore or carnivore, it is a survival experience. You have to manage your stats, manage your growth, keep yourself alive for long enough to grow up to be an adult and raise children. You know, it's that kind of game. They've also said that with the cannibals / tribals, they're going to make it more of a horror survival experience, where you're going to be sneaking around, you're going to be trying to harvest food and get resources from smaller dinosaurs while avoiding the big apexes. And, you know, you've got, even though you are a tribe of humans, you are just a tribe of, I mean, even though you're not a tribe of humans, you are still a tribe of things that would be very easily eaten by a dinosaur, no matter how small it is. Juvies could probably still eat you. So, you know, it's very much a hiding and sneaking kind of thing. And then with the mercenaries, it's more of a shoot-'em-up style game. You've got large weaponry. The larger the weaponry, the longer it takes to set up. So you need people with quite small weaponry to go around and start a fight, while the people in the back with the large, heavy artillery are setting up their weapons and then firing at the dinosaur. But it's more of a shooter in that regard, a shooter survivor. So it's very much a work in progress kind of. They're going to build it up and make it bigger, make the player base and the player ways of playing very, very much different experience no matter how, depending on how you play it, but that's all part of the fun of the game. It's really good in that regard, and every playthrough is different because of the survival aspect. Like, none of my Gigas realistically have died in the same way. Some of them have, obviously some of them have died via not enough food, and some have died via not enough water, and some of them have died from fighting, but even then it's all different. Like, some of them died from not enough food, because I tried to get and eat, died from fighting, because I tried to eat somebody else's kill and they got me. Or I wasn't good enough at hiding, or I just fell off a cliff and broke my leg and something came up behind me and I couldn't run. You know, it's very much just a simple, but also very significant difference to the game and to the play that makes it not a repetitive strain and makes it fun to just keep going. So I highly recommend you get this game. The recode is coming out very soon, so collisions and fighting will all be fixed. And the game, even in its current state, is very good. It's a good game. It's something that I enjoy playing, and I enjoy playing it with my friends. I enjoy playing it on my own. Depending on which server you're in, they've got different levels of rules to make it a fair and enjoyable experience. Survival mode, where you can play as dinosaurs and you grow them, or creative mode, where you can play as any dinosaur in the game, and you're able to just spawn in as an adult and go and kill anything you want. Like, it's that much, like, there's that much difference in the ways you play that just make it so much fun. So honestly, go out and buy this game. It's absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend it. And after the recode, it's going to be so much better. Not that it isn't amazing at the moment, but it's going to be brilliant. So anybody who's a fan of Magic the Gathering or collectible card games in any respect, I am actually a big fan of Magic the Gathering. I bought the Magic the Gathering Party Edition box, which comes with 5 different decks. And you're able to play with your friends. Really fun. And me and my friends got hooked. It's absolutely brilliant. Well, they brought on a new expansion, a new type of pack that you can buy with more cards, new differences, able to build up your decks. And this is called Theros Beyond Death. So what they've come out with a booster pack, 2 Planeswater decks, a Death bundle, and a collector booster box. So these are basically all different ways to build your cards up. The booster decks obviously come with pre-built decks, whereas the booster boxes come with packs, which you can then open and have the cards and be able to build your own decks. That doesn't necessarily mean that the pre-built decks can't be made into your own, but it's more of a better thing just to keep them as they are, because obviously they are built by the company, they know what they're doing. So yeah, Theros Beyond Death, new expansion. You can definitely be sure to see me jumping into that when I get a little bit of money in my pocket, because right now a little bit skint at the moment, saving up for some stuff. So, you know, just gotta, you can definitely see me getting into that at the time, though. Speaking of things coming out that are a little bit too expensive for me, we've got the Arkham Collection. Now, if you don't know what the Arkham Collection is, the 3 Batman Arkham games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, have been released now in a bundle, £35 by Xbox, PS4, and PC. Basically, the Arkham games are you play as Batman. In the first one, you have to save the Arkham Asylum from the Joker. The second one, you have to save Arkham City from the Joker. And the third one, you have to save Arkham City from the Joker, but the Joker's dead. The Joker's inside you this time. You are the Joker. No, you're not the Joker, but the Joker is in your blood. He's there and he's infected you with the Joker venom, so, you know, he's in your blood, and he's very much, you know, he's counting down things. It's a weird story. Play the game if you want to know what it is, though. So yeah, Arkham City, the Arkham Collection coming out, £35, coming out on the 24th, that's this Friday. £35 for PS4, PC, and Xbox, and then, of course, the Theros Beyond Death cards, booster packs, bundles, and more, also coming out on the 24th of this month, which is Friday. And one more thing that I have been playing this week, I have been experimenting with some more Hearthstone decks, and everyone who's watched this sort of show, or heard the show before, is groaning because I constantly talk about Hearthstone, but the game is always evolving, so it's always good for just to give it a little bit of mention. So I've been experimenting with some Hearthstone decks. Now, what happened was originally when this card came out called the Necreum Apothecary for the Thief, everybody thought, oh my god, this is amazing. It's a 4-cost 2/5, which allows you to draw a Death Rattle card and also gain that Death Rattle card's Death Rattle. It's brilliant. So people started teching it with things like Mechanical Whelp, worked really well, but people thought its cheap cost and ease to play, turn 3 and turn 4 play, make it amazing to go with a different type of deck, a hand buff deck. Now, a card had come out in the expansion beforehand called the Anubisath Warbringer, whose Death Rattle was give the cards in your hand +3/+3. That's +3 attack and +3 health. So people decided this would be amazing to pair with this card. It's easy to play and also gets you a 9-cost Death Rattle for a 4-cost card. Absolutely brilliant. So people started transferring from the Mechanical Whelp deck to the hand buff deck. Now the Blizzard caught onto that. They thought, okay, this is not as really good as it should be, because that's a very overpowered deck. So they nerfed Necreum Apothecary, so it now costs 5. All of a sudden, not as easy to squeeze into a tempo turn, because usually they've got a full board by turn 5, which means that you need to play cards that deal with the board. If you already own the board by turn 5, you don't have the mana to be able to play a turn 5 Necreum Apothecary, it's difficult to combo with, and it's difficult to play. So people started moving away from the hand buff rogue, and they started moving back towards the Mechanical Whelp side, because you don't need to have a specific turn play or specific cards in your hand to be able to play the Necreum Apothecary for the Mechanical Whelp. There's enough removal in the deck to already be able to counter it, because there isn't very much removal in the hand buff deck, and there's already enough to be able to take out a wide board and still be able to combo in with a turn 5 Necreum Apothecary. So, you know, it just shows like the swinging of constant metas in that game. So I started experimenting with both decks. I started off with the Mechanical Whelp when it was first popular, and that deck is very good. It's a very good all-round deck, it's got some good synergies, it's got some good combos, very nice. Then I moved on to the Necreum Apothecary deck quite recently. Now, I only played the Necreum Apothecary deck, the hand buff deck, after Necreum Apothecary was nerfed. Which basically means that I don't have the pre-nerf appreciation for the deck. When I've been playing it, it doesn't seem that amazing to me. Everybody was saying this deck is so good, you get some very high-powered charges, Leroy Jenkins can be an OTK or a one-turn kill. It's you know, very powerful, it's very good, so I decided to jump into it. But I only got to play it after the nerf, where all of a sudden everybody's abandoned this deck and moved back on to the Mechanical Whelp deck, which is a better all-round deck for these kind of nerfs. Until the meta stabilizes, people retreat to the easier decks to play. So I was thinking, this deck isn't that amazing, but then I thought, because of the nerf, that's why it isn't amazing. Blizzard set out to achieve, and they did achieve what they wanted. They managed to eradicate, essentially, a very, very powerful meta deck that was hard to counter by just increasing the cost of one card by 1. Like, that's absolute power, essentially, is what they've got here. What the thing is, though, this deck will eventually be rotating out, so I'm getting used to it very soon, because the majority of the combo cards, such as the dagger that lets you activate a death rattle, or the card that lets you activate a death rattle twice, are part of an old card pack which rotates out this year. So February, early March, late February, those cards are rotating out, and this deck will not be as good as it was, but it's definitely a deck to keep your eye on, because I do not think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Rogue never does. Rogue always finds a way to sneak into the meta, as, you know, rogues often do. Now, something that I've been watching very recently is I rewatched Demon Slayer, which is a new anime series that came out this year, absolutely brilliant, about a young boy who sets off to join the Demon Slayer Corps, learn how to wield a demon-killing blade, and rid the world of the infectious evils of the head demon. It's an amazing anime. If you like, even if you have an inkling towards anime, you will love this one. It is amazing. The lore is spectacular. Just the fight scenes are so brilliant. You feel such a connection for these characters. They're so deep and powerful. I'm not often this passionate about TV shows. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. But this one is so brilliant. It's so amazing. It actually makes me, like, my friend has read all the manga, and he's read up until basically the movie coming out this year. He's read up until the end of season 2, which is coming out after the movie, because that's how anime works. The manga comes out, then the TV series, the movies are made. And I really want to talk, I talk with him about season 1 constantly, and when the movie comes out, I'm going to talk to him about that, and when season 2 comes out, I'm going to talk with him about that. I'm never going to lose respect for this show. Some animes go over the top, some animes try to science their way out of a corner, not this one. This one is a goldmine. If you even have the smallest like for anime, if you have watched maybe one anime that you enjoy, and you thought, okay, that was very good, but I probably won't like others, I implore you to go and watch this one. It is so brilliant. Demon Slayer is a goldmine of an anime. You watch that, you will be in love with it for your life. I can guarantee you that so much. And if you can't wait for the movie and the second season, read the manga. Apparently it is just as good. I haven't read that, but I have seen the series, and when the movie comes out, you can guarantee I will go and seeing that. And as soon as season 2 comes out, you can guarantee I'll be watching that. I will be front row of where this movie is shown, and I will be wherever I can be watching this show. Every spare minute I have will be spent watching this season, because it is absolutely amazing. And even the animation style is brilliant, because no anime is animated the same. They all look very similar, because that's just the art style, but they're not animated the same. No anime is animated the same as any other, and this one is so just gorgeous in its looks and its presentation, and the look of the demons and their different personalities and different powers in comparison to the humans. Oh, it's genuinely amazing. Like, if you take one recommendation away from this show, take that one, because that one is probably one of the best. And there we go, and it's now come to the end of Zach's Culture Corner for another week. I really hope you enjoyed listening to it this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. I don't think there's anything left for me to say, but thank you very much for listening if this is your first time listening, and thank you very much for listening even if it isn't. Your viewership and listenership is always very much appreciated. And there's nothing left for me to say, but I will see all of you in the next one. Goodbye.